Okay, so once you have your design perfectly drawn onto your silk, you're going to get this frame from Mrs. Fish. On the frame, there should be 4 rubber bands with 4 safety pins. And our goal right now is going to be to stretch the silk across the frame. Now, the easiest way that I have found to do this is not to try and start from the corners. A lot of you guys, you'll pull these rubber bands all the way to these corners, and it makes it really tight. We don't want to do that. We want to instead, there we go. Start from the center right here, attach our corners to the safety pin. You can go right through your material, that is fine. And then we're going to do the same thing down here. These, by the way, are just wrapped around, and both of the rubber band pieces are right down there. Sometimes it's helpful if you have a friend to just kind of hold on to things for you. Try not to stab yourself with the safety pin. If you do stab yourself with a safety pin, please let me know, because I will replace it with another safety pin, because we don't want blood on your project or somebody else stabbing themselves by accident with something that has your blood on it. Okay, so now we have it like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull these to the edges. And that's going to be so much easier than trying to stab this while it's really tight. And then this guy over here. Okay, so now I have my design on here, and it's tight so that it's not going to be wrinkly. The next thing I need to do is I need to put the resist on. You're going to get the resist bottle from Mrs. Fish. And if, when you squeeze it, nothing comes out, you're going to have to get this cleaning tool. And all you do with the cleaning tool is you push it down inside, and it's got these little teeth on it. And when you go up and down, it should pull out any old, dried resist that is on there. Okay, and you get that from Mrs. Fish. Don't pull this through your fingers. Like if you grab this really hard and yank it, it's got these little teeth, and it will cut you. So don't yank it through your fingers. But if you just touch it, it's not a problem at all. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over our lines with our resist. If you don't make a complete loop with the resist, like if this, I think this was a grape that somebody had drawn, if I leave it open and I try to make this purple, all the purple dye is going to end up in my sky. So anything that you want to be a different color has to have a complete loop going all the way around. You don't want this flat on the table, because if it's flat on the table, the resist will leak through, will get on the bottom of the table, and will get on different places of your silk that you don't want it. So usually what we do is we just kind of stand behind our chair, and we put this up behind our chair, and then I'm just going to squeeze little lines of resist out onto my project. Now this project is the least precise project that we do. You're just going to have to learn to be flexible, do the best you can. The reason it's so frustrating is because there's no place to rest your arm, so your hand gets a little bit shaky. But we're going to go ahead and you're going to start going over all of your lines. If you happen to have a line, like right here, I think this was a branch, that didn't make it all the way to the edge, you do want to take it all the way to the edge. Once it gets to the edge, that's fine. You don't need to seal off the edge. My die will stay on this side and won't go over to this side because this goes all the way to the edge. So I do not need to run a bead of resist going across this way. What's really important though, I'm going to do it wrong right now, so hopefully you're listening and not just watching, is that you don't do little holes in your resist. I'm not sure if you can see, but right here there's a hole in my resist, there's a hole in my resist, there's a hole in my resist. Any place you have a hole like that, again, your die is going to run out, so this brown branch is going to run out into the sky. So you need to go through and make sure, and I think maybe you can see it a little bit better there. As a matter of fact, we're going to get a close-up. So you can see, I hope, how right here there's a hole and a hole and a hole and a hole. All of your resist is going to go out. This one over here, this grape, it goes all the way around, and that's what you want to happen with your resist. Over here, we talked about going all the way to the edge, and you can see that that goes all the way to the edge. Now right here, my resist would run out, so I got to make sure I get more resist there as well. Be neat with your resist, be on your pencil lines as best that you can, and once that part's done, you're going to put it on the drying rack, let it dry. This frame will fit right into the drying rack. So put it right into the drying rack, let it dry, and once everything's done, you are ready to do your die.